I don't want you to be fake. I do not want you to say that you're grateful if you're not, or that you're appreciative if you're not. I don't want you to do that because lying to yourself is mean and it doesn't help. Well, hi there. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Intuition Your Success Comes. That time of year again, we are heading into, well, Canada's already had it, but heading into the States into Thanksgiving. And every year I say the same thing, that the practice of gratitude, appreciation, and being thankful would benefit us to having a daily practice of this and not waiting to a certain time of year to be appreciative or to extend the gratitude that we feel towards others, towards ourselves. So I'm going to talk about it again because I don't know about you, but I do well with reminders, with things that are here to just refocus my brain, like bringing the microphone closer because it actually records better when you do that. Great product. I'm going to talk about that'll help with this kind of stuff. And check out the mid-break. So let me just take a moment and give you a rough definition of appreciation and gratitude. And the reason I'm redoing this is not this episode again this year about this is not only because Thanksgiving's coming up, but I was teaching a webinar and for our Wisdom Wednesday group. And we were talking about how to keep our frequency raised, like how to continue to be in a vibrant place. And one of the discussions was about a gratitude journal. I love a good gratitude practice. And I was explaining how I felt there's a difference between gratitude and appreciation. And then I actually find appreciation to help us go a little bit deeper. And I'm going to tell you why. Because often gratitude is something that we're expressing for, I don't know, things in our lives, being the observer, being thankful, yes, for something received, though, or something external. I feel like when I do my gratitude practice, like I'm thanking my pillow, I'm thanking my partner, I'm grateful to this cat who's snoring behind me who took her medicine like a champ this morning. If you knew her personality, you'd be as shocked as I am about that. Really thought I was going to lose some digits. Took it like a champ. But that's an external thing, right? Like you're grateful for that kind gesture that someone did. Appreciation to me feels felt. Like it feels like it goes inside me and I get this ooey gooey visceral experience. And it can be, I'm appreciating that. I'm grateful. I'm still appreciating that kind gesture, but it feels more wound in. It feels like I'm actually participating in it in a very experiential way. Where gratitude to me, again, feels external. And I think it's important to help us have a supportive mindset, to help us to not go to the side of things so much. I think they're both vitally important, which is why they're all together. And then being thankful, not only for yourself, but your experiences and for the others in your life. And I feel like gratitude is like an emotion of thankfulness, of, again, something received, whereas appreciation is being aware or acknowledging the value of something. So to appreciate, to raise, right? Whether you received it or not. So you can appreciate that someone has an amazing experience. Maybe you weren't even there. I'm always saying, I so appreciate the way people's brains work. Like, who figured out the Vitamix? Because I need to hug that person. And I appreciate that there are thinkers and there are movers and there are shakers and there are people who step up in very different ways. And I really appreciate that. We were just on the Cape recently and there was a mindfulness march. They might call it protest. I'm calling it a mindfulness march, where they were bringing the awareness of what's going on in Israel and Gaza and all of that. And at first, I was a little uncomfortable about the energy. And then I'm like, I am so appreciative that these people will take their son to raise awareness. And I need to pay attention to their message. And we stopped and we listened. It was a really great change. And we thanked them for organizing, for being there, for bringing our attention to something where we were on vacation. That was trying to not think about the pain that is involved in all of that. So I feel like when I live in appreciation, I take my stuff less seriously because I'm just marveled at the way that this world works. And it allows me to be thankful that I get to be part of it. Now, another differentiation that I find is that gratitude can be something that's happened in the past, right? Like, unless you're really practiced at being present, we often are grateful for something that's already happened, right? We get filled up by something that typically happened or already occurred, and we're reflecting on it. We're like, I'm grateful for that. I think a good gratitude practice happens at the end of the day as you're lying down on your bed and you're doing that moment, hopefully, of taking a breath, collecting yourself as before you go travel in your soul, and you are grateful for whatever happens in your day, whatever experience went on. You're looking at it retroactively, right? After the fact, which is still amazing. And if you have a hard time with this, maybe you had a really crappy day, be grateful for the pillow, the blanket you have. Maybe you're listening to a soundtrack that helps you calm down. Maybe you had a wonderful cup of tea before you went to bed, and then you're going to have to get up at 3 a.m. I'll see you there. It feels like gratitude is often expressed for something that's already happened, whereas appreciation is more present moment experience, focusing on what's happening and what's in front of you right now, like what you're going through. I can appreciate this conversation. And when you get in the practice of appreciation, you will become more present. I used to have such a hard time with that. Be in the now, be present, be focused. Ugh, my brain would be so future focused. Part of the claircognizant challenge and clairvoyant challenge is that there's always a movie running in my head. It's taken a lot of focus and practice to get present, to be here now, to be fully connected with whatever's going on. So once I started practicing appreciation, that got easier. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that was going to happen. So I guess I was appreciative of the fact that appreciation has brought me to a more present state because it was tricky. And then that helps with meditation, but it mostly helps with communication with yourself and with whomever you're having an interaction with. And it helps from the critic brain from running away with itself, or the panicking brain from taking off and going into fight or flight. When you can be present, there's less anxiety and there's less depression because you're here now. So appreciation practice can help with that. And another differentiator, I think, is that gratitude can be connected to like specific individuals or acts, whereas appreciation can be universal. Like I said, I appreciate people who just think globally, who are always wondering how to improve on something, plant trees for 30 years down the line. Like universally, I feel like appreciation is a broader sense of wonder, beauty, and value in the world. I appreciate nature so much for everything that it's taught me. But the older that I get, the more I appreciate that tree outside. Often I'll sit in my chair and stare at the tree. And there's this one perfect branch that the blue jays, the crows, and the hawks land on at different times during the day. It's like they all have their own shift. And I appreciate the fact that I've learned to become present enough that I know that because the way I've set this up, it's at my back. I may not know that. But what I do in my gratitude practice with each client after I have a session here, I walk around my room, I clear the space, and I look out the window, no matter what the weather is, and appreciate this place that I'm in. And it takes 10 seconds. This is not like a big lift here. It's really helped me turn down that voice of I'm not doing enough because it's hard to have that voice in your head when you're very present. And gratitude is an action oriented thing, which I love. I love the East. I love being in action. And it's often expressed through actions like saying thank you or I appreciate you is actually a gratitude practice. Returning kindness, holding the door open for someone. Whereas appreciation is a whole mindset. It's a way of being. It's a way of perceiving, receiving the world that's around you. So once there's that practice of appreciation, there's more of a contemplative mindset. You start thinking in bigger concepts. You start to recognize the value in a crappy situation. You start to appreciate that things don't happen to you, they happen for you, which sounds like a platitude and sounds freaking annoying until you have a practice of appreciation. And once you're in that practice of appreciation, and I'm actually grateful that I've gone through it or I'm going through it because it's expanding my capacity to be in the world. You know what I'm also grateful for? That we're going to take a break right now because I really need to get a drink of water. And I find that rude doing that on film, on recording. And anyway, and I know I can pause, but let's stay in the flow and take this time to appreciate what Magic Mind has done for me. Well, hey there, wonderful listeners. As I said, I have a product that I have been using and full transparency, used for a little bit, stopped using and went back to using because the focus issue at this point in my life with, energy distraction in the world, but also menopause. Menopause brain is real, my friends. I have gone back to using Magic Mind. And as part of my path of self-awareness, personal growth, I believe that it's important to connect with the product that aligns with you, that feels good. And I have always said I would only recommend those things that I know work, that come from a company with integrity and that are sustainable and all of that. It's just important to me. So what is Magic Mind? Magic Mind is an elixir, magic elixir, if you will, that helps you focus, gives you energy without the jittery of caffeine. It does have a little bit of caffeine in it, which I love. And as much as I love my coffee, it can only do so much. I've actually never gotten the boost from coffee that some people do. So Magic Mind has become one of my best friends. I take it midday because I do the intermittent fasting. So I'm not going to do the calories in the morning. But you know that iced coffee that hits about 1:30, 2 o'clock? I take it alongside with that and it tastes really good. After using it for just a few days, I noticed that my intentionality was back, right? Like my ability to be productive and to connect with my frequency and to keep it high. It doesn't disrupt my sleep or anything like that, even if I take it in the afternoon. And it's all natural ingredients. It's loaded with top quality ingredients like matcha for that extended release caffeine, bacopa monieri, I hope I say that right. And that's the attention and the memory part that I really felt was missing in my own experience, in my own wiring. The ashwagandha helps to reduce stress and anxiety. And there's just enhanced mental clarity. I feel like I want everyone to be taking this and to create the success and the functionality in your life that is possible when you have good nutrients in your body. So I highly recommend it. And yes, I do, as a matter of fact, have a code for you to get 20% off, and it's Vicki B 20, VICKI B 20. You will go to www.magicmind.com/Vicki B, or click on the link within the show notes. Thanks. And yes, I am grateful, welcome back, that you came back. And I'm also grateful to work with Magic Mind because I, like I said, took a little break and then came back to it once I realized, wow, I really need these B vitamins, vegetarian. So sometimes that B12 and those vitamins in there can be hard to get, and provides for me that focus and ability to record this. So I'm grateful for that and appreciative for the experience of learning how to do commercials and all of that. So, and that they heard me when I said, I don't want to be, people know these are commercials. Let's record a commercial. But the shift in perspective, when you bring in gratitude and when you bring in thankfulness and appreciation, there's less of a victim mindset that we're all capable of, no judgment here. And there's less of the pity party, the poor me. That shift in perspective leads to a more fulfilling life. And I can say this because I know the difference. I know what it was like before I was aware of this, and I know what it's like now that I'm in it. And I still have my moments. There were a couple weeks last month that dig deep. I had to really dig deep to get the appreciation and the gratitude going. And in that instance, gratitude was actually easier because it wasn't action oriented and it was more of an inventory type. So I was grateful it was getting chilly because I could bring out my nice sweaters. And I was grateful that I had the nice sweaters to wear, because invest in something, you have it for decades. And that we have seasons here. It's not one continuous temperature the whole time, although I can see where that would be comforting. But I like my different. So the shift in perspective can help you connect more to your intuitive and your spiritual development. Because again, like I said, you start to appreciate a bigger concept, that we're not here for just one go round, that this is eternal. Well, until you figure it out and you graduate out. I'm not saying you go on forever and ever and ever. When you do your work and when you practice this stuff, when it becomes an integrate way of being, things are calmer. They're just more fun. Life has more levels and depths, and it's not always deep conversations. I like being silly, like my inner 12-year-old appreciates too. So it will help you to raise your frequency, literally your vibration of your energy field, when you're up in the experiences of gratitude rather than in blame or disappointment or overwhelming, in creating this resiliency that happens, that you understand that stuff and life and circumstances and people are going to grow. Babies are going to be born. You're going to have new pets come into your life, and you're going to have pets who leave your life, and you're going to have different money opportunities, and you're going to have experiences where there's a lack. All of that gets to be navigated in a much more flowing way when there is thankfulness, appreciation, and gratitude, because you start to trust in the universe more. You start to trust that this isn't punishment if something's going on. Sure, maybe you have to look at your spending habits. Maybe you have to look at how you've been treating other people. But there's more of a trust that there's a deeper meaning or a ripple effect of your appreciation and, yeah, the positivity. And that brings more success and more joy into life. So as we head into and as we are fully involved in the holiday season, I wonder if you can make this part of your intentions that also lead into the next year. It's a great time to set some intentions, but the year's not over. We have plenty of time to get this into practice and to start shifting that perspective I don't want you to be fake. I do not want you to say that you're grateful if you're not, or that you're appreciative if you're not. I don't want you to do that, because lying to yourself is mean and it doesn't help. It's as damaging, I think, as having that critic in your head. Because if you're not going to be truthful with yourself, you won't be truthful with others. But you're not going to enjoy this experience. Your whole system knows when you're lying to it. So be truthful, be open, but shift just a little bit to get more appreciation, more gratitude, and more practice into your life, practices of thankfulness. So I don't know if you do this, but in my family, we go around the table at Thanksgiving and we say what we're thankful for. It doesn't have to be the people at the table. You could be what you're thankful for. Mike often says he's thankful for gravy. So we could depend on that every Thanksgiving. It doesn't matter what you're thankful for. As long as you start to practice that, you will start to create more self-appreciation and more self-love. And if you've listened to this podcast before, you know I firmly believe that when each of us like ourselves and we learn to love ourselves, that there will be that ripple effect that will change this world. It will absolutely shift our world as a whole. But we can't wait for that. We can't wait for somebody else to get it. And we can't wait for the ripple effect to happen. We have to start the ripple effect. And you can do that. I believe you can. I'm requesting that you do it because could use some help out here. And I know that it will help you become more attuned to your intuition, and it will help you access your own inner wisdom. I am grateful for you. I appreciate that you listen or watch this episode and the podcast. And I love that you're coming to the app and we're interacting more. And I love the subjects that you send because I don't want to just be talking about things that interest me. If I can help you or expand on the conversations we're having, it's what I'm here for. So thank you. I wish you the best of amazing days, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to this episode of Intuition, Your Success Compass. I appreciate you being here. If you would like more information about developing your intuitive skills, removing those blocks, and creating the life that feels the most successful to you, then head on over to vickibaird.com. That's VICKIBAIRD.com. And check out the courses, the groups, and the Spaces app that will allow you to be part of our community and know about upcoming events and specials. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next episode.